For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah. This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome aboard. We're live downtown Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is a spot. Busy hour coming up. A lot of props to get into today. Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NHL. More on the baseball card as well. NFL Draft. And here we have best bets in soccer as Steve Wyss joins the program. He's on the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow Steve on X. He's at Meatman Soccer. Also the Nordic Football Pod. And Because We Win. Steve, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Hey, guys. I'm doing okay. Losing day for me, sadly, on the soccer. A game in Germany let me down today, but I'm looking ahead to the weekend. Loads of big soccer action in Europe.
Yep, very good. And you have a ton of bets here. Let's begin with the Prim tomorrow on Saturday. You have a bet that you like around plus 350 on Brighton and West Ham. What do you have here?
I'm going to go West Ham draw no bet here, plus 350. I really think it's a big price, and you might look at the recent form, and a lot of people we put off by West Ham. They've not won any of the last 6 games, but it's been quite a while since Brighton have won as well. I think it feels to me like Brighton just want the season to end. There was an interesting interview after the West Ham match last week. One of their strikers, Nicholas Fulkrug, completely lost his cool in an interview, and he was basically accusing the rest of the players that they lack motivation, drive, not professional enough. It was very unusual. This doesn't normally happen over here. You wouldn't get a player openly criticise his teammates for much. And I just think there's going to be a big reaction from West Ham this week because of this. I think the manager's going to have to play this guy, Fulkrug, and put him up front as a striker. He's actually plus 400 to score. Now, let's see if he can put his money where his mouth is and perform himself. So that would be an interesting side prop for the game. But I do think after the week that West Ham have had, the criticism they've had, that we're going to see a lot of reaction. So plus 350 on the draw no bet looks a big price. Brighton are never a very good favourite, and I don't trust them at all.
Nigel thinks Newcastle buries Ipswich Town and they're going to get relegated. But you see it a different way. Do you see a high-scoring affair with Newcastle?
Well, yeah, I do actually agree with Nigel. I think this could be a big Newcastle win. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they put 4 or 5 goals past Ipswich. Ipswich, if they lose the game or if they even draw the game, they're officially relegated. They're down anyway because of goal difference. They conceded, I've just got the stats here, 71 goals this season. That's nearly 2.5 goals a game. Newcastle are the second highest scoring team at home. The highest scoring home team in the Premier League is actually Manchester City this season. That'll surprise quite a few people. But Newcastle really, really strong at home. I'm going to back over 3.5 goals at minus 110. So, Newcastle could cover this goal line all on their own.
Yep.
And it wouldn't surprise me if they did. But I just want to cover for an Ipswich goal because I just got a feeling they're going to go down swinging. They do have a very good striker in Liam Delap, who I think some decent Premier League teams will probably buy him this summer. He's good enough for a mid-table sort of team. So with him in the side, there's always a goal threat. So I just want to cover for that Ipswich goal. But I see this being like 4-1, 5-1 to Newcastle. I like the goals. For those who want to get on the handicap, absolutely. That's a good bet as well.
Liverpool's going to win the Prem. How do you want to treat their first half match against Tottenham?
Yeah, it's going to be party time in Liverpool.
Yes.
They just need 1 point. Yeah, 1 point to win the Premier League. They're going to have no problems getting that point against a terrible Spurs team for me, and a Spurs team who are completely focused on a match just 4 days later in the Europa League. That's a competition they've got to win to save their season. So Spurs aren't really going to care too much about this game. It's going to be, a party atmosphere in the Liverpool game. I'm going to take the bet I'm going to take is halftime, full time. Basically, Liverpool to be winning at halftime and full time. I think they're going to come out the traps really strong here, get the job done in the first half, score 2 or 3 goals, and then the second half, everyone can enjoy themselves. They can bring on the players that need appearances to get a championship medal, things like that. the crowd can enjoy themselves, and Tottenham will quite happily have a quiet second half as well. So rather than worrying about handicaps, goal lines, and needing stuff to happen in the second half, I think the second half could be a non-event here. It could just be a celebration of things and really a bit of a damp squib. So I think half-time, full-time at minus 133. Half-time, full-time on Liverpool.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. We only have 2 matches left in the lower leagues. Do you have any futures that are coming down to the wire here or could be decided?
Yeah, Leeds. I mean, I'm on my own team to win the league. We have now achieved promotion, but we've got to win the last 2 games to guarantee the title against Burnley. I also need Middlesbrough. To get into the top 6. I'm going to talk about them soon. That would be a good one for me. Birmingham City was a good one for me in League One. I think a lot of people were on that ticket, weren't they, for them to win League One. They were a really popular selection, had a really good squad. But I've not got anything else really in the lower leagues.
Okay, so you mentioned it. Let's go to the Championship League. They need to get top 6. I think they're in 7th right now. Middlesbrough against Norwich, and the total is 3 Saturday.
It's got to be over goals because it's an all-or-nothing game for Middlesbrough. It was the same last week, actually. They had to win the game against Sheffield Wednesday. They ended up losing it because they just gambled the whole house at the end and they conceded a late goal. And that could happen again here. It's win or go home for Borough. They've got to get a result. And Norwich have just actually sacked their manager. There's been a few teams that have got rid of their manager before the end of the season. I thought a lot of these managerial moves would happen in May, perhaps in June, but some teams have got so frustrated with their manager. So I do actually think Norwich might have some sort of a reaction here. Some players might be fighting for their future, a new contract, things like that. So they might actually put forth some more effort than normal. The reverse fixture ended a 3-3 draw, and the style of these 2 teams that play is very attack-minded. Norwich do actually have goals in them. They've got 2 players in the team who are the highest scoring players in the division apart from Joe Pirro. Josh Sargent, the US striker, he's usually good for a goal. So I think the Asian goal line of 3 on the overs is worth taking here. I mean, I really hope Middlesbrough win this game to get themselves back in that playoff race, the top 6 race. But I think the goals angles are better bet rather than taking them on the money line.
Follow the money, Pauly and Mitch Vyss, the Sports Betting Network. The Meat Man, Steve Wyss, our guest. Because We Win Pod, Nordic Sports Pod as well. At Meatman Soccer on X, he's on the progressive guest line. We have the FA Cup. Is this the semis? It's tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, so Man City at Nottingham Forest, total of 2.5.
Yeah, the first semi-final is Crystal Palace against Villa on the Saturday. And then on Sunday, we've got Nottingham Forest, Manchester City.
Thank you.
I really like under goals here. I think under 2.5 goals, you can get plus money on this, plus 102. The last time the 2 teams met, Nottingham Forest won 1-0. It was a really tight and cagey game. Nottingham Forest are really good defensively this season. They are going to set themselves up to frustrate Manchester City the best they can and try and hit them on the counter-attack. And I think it's going to be quite effective because, they did this 2 years ago against an incredible Manchester City team. City would find a way to break them down. They've got the quality. But I don't think this Manchester City team without Erling Haaland is going to be able to do that. So I think there's going to be going on and on and on, 0-0. This could be 0-0 half-time. I think draw at half-time is a good bet as well. And then the second half, depending how Man City play it, if Manchester City start to overcommit, Nottingham Forest have got a chance of actually winning this game. But I do think in the 90 minutes, this will not include the extra time, by the way. This is just fully in the 90 minutes for under 2.5 goals to happen. It's just simply based on the Nottingham Forest being an excellent defensive unit, well set up, and Manchester City likely to get frustrated. I just don't really fancy any Manchester City players to score that many goals here, unless maybe Kevin De Bruyne produce a magical moment from a free kick or something. I think Forest have got every chance of actually making the final, guys.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. So you rattled off a lot of bets here. If you had to put the label of best bet on any of them, which one would it be?
I think the best bet has got to be over 3.5 goals. Newcastle against Ipswich. That could be quite a big number there,
Okay, very good. So we almost exclusively talk soccer with, or as you call it over there, obviously football, as it's known across the world. Here in America, we call it soccer. How about American football? You are an American football fan. Did you get involved at all with betting the NFL draft last night?
Yeah, I was advised to take the second quarterback drafted, Jackson Dart. who he came off the board. The Giants have got him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did hear that the Deion Sanders' lad, son, was not fancied as much to do well. He's still not picked, is he? So, yeah, I had a bet on that. And, I do watch it. I'm a Ravens fan. I think the Ravens drafted a good player. And certainly keeping my eyes on the Cleveland Browns. In all my time following American football, I don't think there's a team that's had more picks than the Cleveland Browns. Like, seriously. They have so many picks. Every year. And the same thing just seems to happen with the Cleveland Browns. So I'm interested to see who they're going to pick at 33.
Yeah. Henderson was 10-1 earlier today. Now he's like around plus 105 to go 33rd tonight. So you can follow Steve on X. He's at Me-Man Soccer, 2 podcasts as well. Nordic Football Pod and Because We Win. That was great, Steve. Thanks for the time today. Good luck.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
See
you next time.
Yep. Back at you. There you go. All right. So a lot of bets there. And his best one would be the Newcastle game, Ipswich over 3.5, which the juice is now, it's like moving. So if you can find minus 110 out there, definitely hit that if you like it. I'm seeing minus 115 or higher now at some spots.
NBA playoffs are here. So is the VSiN Killer Sports NBA Playoff Challenge. We've invited 15 sharp minds from the world of VSiN and Killer Sports to go head-to-head, making 38 picks each from the start of the playoffs all the way through the NBA Finals. A total of 570 picks, all available to VSiN Pro subscribers. Picks are locked in 1 hour before the first game each day. Fresh insights to guide your bets every step of the postseason, and get full VSiN Pro access through August 1st for just $59. Don't miss this great edge. VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up today. August 1st, $59, vsin.com/subscribe.
I'm in the contest. Not going so hot for me. I'm near the bottom. Can't win a game in the NBA. We'll try to correct that tonight and into the weekend. Up next, more on the NFL draft. You're not going to believe what Adam Schefter said about an hour and a half ago about what could happen tonight to Shedeur Sanders.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. It is Follow the Money. We're live here on a Friday, post round 1 NFL draft, downtown Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. We will get into a bunch of props that we like for tonight and this weekend coming up in 15 minutes. Also the Major League Baseball card as well. Day 2 of the draft, round number 2, will begin in about an hour and 45 minutes. The odds have been shifting throughout the entire day on who is going to be the 33rd overall pick tonight in the draft. Earlier this morning, Travion Henderson, the running back from Ohio State, was 10-1. He's now minus 115. And as I'm speaking, Shedeur Sanders just moved another 15 cents. He just went from plus 215 to plus 230. The team to draft Shedeur Sanders, Las Vegas, is now minus 230. That completely flipped earlier on during our show.
Yeah.
The Browns are holding, they have 3 picks in the next 35 picks, I believe. They're plus 210. The Raiders are picking 37th, and they also have another pick tonight. The Steelers were 10-1 last hour. They're now plus 270.
Oh, wow.
But they don't pick until number 83.
Yes.
You're going to hear from Adam Schefter here in a second. Do you think they could get Sanders at 83, or would the Steelers have to trade back into the second round to get him?
I think you got to trade. For what it's worth, Milroe plus 450 to go to Pittsburgh. I think we're really entering Looney Tunes here now. If we're talking about Chuck and Milroe going ahead of Sanders, I think it's crazy. And, people keep sending in, and thank you for all the tweets and emails about they couldn't stand Kuiper, and even Riddick was doing it as well with the Sanders stuff. Well, it's going to be Just watch VSiN, because if you thought it was bad last night, what do you think all the talk's going to be today?
That's absolutely right.
It's going to be all about Sanders. Where's he go? Why isn't he going?
You're not going to get any of the fluff, any of the nonsense, any of the forced garbage here on VSiN. I mean, and most of you know that because you're bettors anyway, and that's what you want. And I guarantee last night the fellas on the network with Tim Murray, Matt Brown, and Matt Humans did a bang-up job. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
So
I reached out to some Raider people. They said no at 37, but I think this is where the Brady influence could come in and play a role. And doesn't look good early on for Cleveland. But the Pittsburgh thing, this is wild. I just don't have any answers, and I'm just shocked by the whole thing that not a couple months ago we're talking about top 5 for sure. Top 5 pick, top 10 pick, and minus 250 in December to go number 1. And now could he go into 50s, 60s, 70s?
Sure. Here's what we're looking for. If you happen to see an updated draft position at any sports book on Shedeur Sanders, please send it our way. Email ftm@vsin.com, on X at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard. I would be super intrigued to know what that number is tonight. Because of where the Browns and the Raiders are picking, and again, Raiders are picking 37, he's minus 240 to go there. Would you make it like 36.5? And juice it to the over, thinking that he's going to slide to the Raiders and the Raiders would take him then?
He asked me a couple hours ago, yeah. But then once I heard the Schefter piece, then I have to change my mind.
All right. Well, then
you got to go a lot higher than that.
Here you go. This was not that long ago, 90 minutes, give or take, on NFL Live on ESPN. Adam Schefter, what he had to say about Sanders tonight.
Tyler Shuck is going to figure in there tonight, and I won't be surprised if Tyler Shuck goes ahead of Shedeur Sanders tonight. Can you imagine if Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuck both wind up being drafted ahead of Shedeur Sanders? I think there are not a lot of teams that love the idea of drafting Shedeur, and I think now we're at the point where unless he goes in the third round, number 83, to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had a discussion about him on the board at number 21, I think we make it a team that we never connected to him.
Who would that be?
Yeah. You might be right, but that I don't know.
Let me throw this at you.
Dallas?
Well, certainly.
Yeah.
How about the Rams?
How about the Rams? Not bad.
Right?
Well, we stopped, but we love Garoppolo. I mean, come on.
Well, that's
what they said,
sure.
But yeah, okay.
So I'm looking down the board right now.
That's 13-1. The Cowboys are 20-1.
How about the Jets? They're 12-1. I mean, you can't be serious with some of these teams and what their plan is as of right now at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to throw the Steelers in that mix, though.
Yes, I know.
We still don't have an answer.
Yes, we don't know what's going on with Rodgers.
And
you need a quarterback.
Of course. Like, they're a perennial playoff team. You have to be kidding that Mason Rudolph is going to be your guy as of right now. I'm not saying that Shedeur's going to go there and start from day one, but my God, really? That's the one guy on the roster, and you don't know what the hell's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. Surprise, surprise. Mm-hmm. Drama with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, why can't I throw the Saints in there? I mean, are you really serious with Rattler? Because they're going to get bad news here on Carr?
Well, I don't.
Not to mention the horrendous contract.
See, I think the Saints would go in a different direction. I think that'd be a team for Milroe because, again, all reports, I don't think they like Sanders at all as a football player. I think their guy was Dart. But they weren't going to take him at number 9.
Yeah, Milroe's 4-1 to go to the Saints.
What's Shuck? Do they have the team where he's going to go?
I don't have that.
I could see something like that happening.
He's plus 850 to go to the Jets and the Rams. Same price.
How about, let me throw a couple of other teams at you here. For any of these guys that we're talking about now. Could the 49ers get crazy?
Sanders?
Or Shuck? Or Milroe?
No, you're paying Purdy and locking him up.
Are you sure? You're going to pay him $55? You're going to be comfortable with that?
No, I'm not. I think it's a bad move, but that's what they're going to do.
How about the Colts at 100-1? I mean, we know absolutely nothing about Anthony Richardson at this point. The kid has barely played.
Well, you got a lunatic owner, so right. I guess you can't rule it out.
Sure, and you can't tell me that they're completely comfortable with him as the future guy. But again, we don't know enough. He hasn't played enough. And when he has played, I mean, it's Haley's Comet. He'll make a 78-yard throw down the field on a dime, but then he'll go 10 for 36 in the next game. You're like, this guy can't play quarterback. So I'm just throwing out a couple of bombs that, and these books are not going to take big bets anyway. So it's going to be like pizza money that you're talking about on this stuff.
Yeah. All right. How about Seattle? He's 20-1 to go to Seattle.
I'm in.
All right. And Milroe is shorter price.
I could see that team taking Milroe.
Milroe's 3-1 to go to Seattle.
Whoa. Oh, Jesus.
Holy
okay.
cow.
3-1. I don't know if I'd rather take a couple of bombs, just hope that they would come in.
I mean, this is also a case of people need to be fired too. Because whether he wasn't prepped, which I find hard to believe, how did you blow all these interviews? And how did you go from, you could be going right there 1-2 with Ward, or certainly a top 5 pick, and now we're in the 80s. Again, the article that dropped the other day with the anonymous source, NFL coach. Worst formal interview I've ever seen in my life and been a part of. Entitled, horrible body language, blames teammates, not that good. But this just goes back to, was he prepped? Who's calling the shots? Who's the agent? What happened? Was he being lied to? How did he blow this? Did the phone call actually take place? Which I can't believe. I would buy that. I trust the guy who told me that. He actually himself called the Giants and said, "You better take me, or else." I mean, this is wild.
So if you would buy that, then I think it's pretty easy to answer how he blew this with the interview process. I think the arrogance probably just completely reeks. Right? I mean, you can sense it from 8 miles away.
But on a job interview? It's a job interview.
But he's also Deion Sanders' kid, so the entitlement, absolutely. I mean, I'm telling you what I could buy into for sure. Does it feel like he would be super humble and be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But you can't go into it, when you're going into a job interview and just being like, I'm the man and I don't care about my teammates and it's all about, I mean, you have to know you're going to blow that.
Well,
I guess maybe it goes back to there was a report that he wanted certain teams not to take him and didn't want to go there. So maybe blowing these interviews was on purpose, and then it just came back to affect them the rest of the way.
Yeah. I mean, I think also we're so far removed from being in that age group to like be relatable to what kids are. We're calling them kids now. But guys were like this too when we were growing up. They were difficult to deal with. And also that Jay Glazer tweet about how this is a brand new dimension added to like trying to pick apart players, and that is, do they love football or not? Maybe he's one of the guys that falls into that group where he just does it because he's Deion's kid and he's been good at it. And he's completely entitled, and he grew up with a silver spoon, and he just thinks that he can go out there and, and he'll get whatever he wants. And that's not the way it works in the NFL.
Well, I know the line always is, if you think like the fans, you'll be sitting next to him. But I think the Raiders have to take him. Based on, I mean, if you're going to sign Minshew and Garoppolo and recycle some of these veterans and O'Connell and the moves they made over the years, you got Geno for the next couple of years. Your Brady connection, I think the Raiders have to take him.
See, to me, they need so much more help. Good for them taking Genty. A
lot of people hated that trade.
I would not have taken
that pick, rather, right? Because the O-line's so bad,
right? Yep. So they just have to, and if they come out of that, that'll sell tickets. Genty and Sanders,
yes,
is that going to win games? I'm not so sure about that.
Well, I do trust the coach and GM though. I can't say that about going back that many years.
All right, we'll hit props up next. We'll discuss one particular prop that Pauly thinks will move. That's next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. We'll get into props coming up in a second. We were kicking that around. If anybody sees a draft position for Shedeur Sanders tonight, where he's going to go. The second-round draft order looks like this, by the way. Picking first, 33rd overall is Cleveland, then the Texans, then Tennessee, Cleveland again at 36, the Raiders at 37, the Patriots and the Bears at 39. I was told that 38.5 is out there at some specific books.
Okay.
38.5.
Yes.
What would you do with that number?
Go over.
So would I.
Let's know. Yep. Doesn't look good for the Browns either. So this is, who knows how long this free fall will go. All right. Major props to you. It's fun to talk about this every single day now, and there's so much stuff out there with the playoffs and the different categories, and the menus are awesome. Let's go to hockey. Let's go to the Kings-Oilers game tonight. And we're focused on shots on goal. It's Adrian Kempe. Plays for the Kings. 8 of the last 9 games he's gone over. But more importantly, playoff time. Get guys to the net. Get shots on goal. Get pucks to the net. Crazy things can happen. You got a Siv and Skinner right now. Just shoot it like the crazy deflected goal to win 6-5 in Game 1. 12 of the last 13 playoff games against the Oilers, Kempe has gone over his shots on goal prop.
Wow.
It's 2.5. Shop around. You want to ladder it, you can do that as well. 2.5 over minus 150, minus 160 in that range. He had 8 in the last game. He also had 2 goals and 2 assists. Oilers have all kinds of issues defensively. They're playing undisciplined hockey, stupid penalties. Remember, the Kings had the 27th power play during the regular season. They're 50% on the power play in a series and have 5 power play goals. So 4 points in the last game. He was awesome in Game 1 and 8 shots on goal in the last game. 12 of the last 13 playoff games against the Oilers. And if you want to get nuts, he's $1.70 to have a point tonight as well. $1.70 to have a point. Adrian Kempe.
Let me ask you this. Does it change at all, in your opinion, now that the series is shifting up to Edmonton?
No. Not from a shot-on-goal standpoint, no. And I don't think all of a sudden Edmonton's just going to change and be this, defensive juggernaut and what's going to happen and clamp down. They've allowed 12 goals in the first 2 games.
Very good.
And
Those are awesome numbers.
And these are just terrible, undisciplined penalties, doing stupid stuff in front of the officials, can't stay out of the box, and you got a goalie who has the yips right now too, and a team that continues to be sloppy and turn it over. So I'm not asking for a hat trick. I'm not asking for 2 goals. I'm asking for a point, and I'm asking for 3 shots on goal, which he's done 12 of the last 13 playoff games against the Oilers.
All right, very good. Anything else in hockey?
I've come around on Carolina. Carolina to win in regulation, even money about $1.05. The home team has won all 6 meetings head-to-head this year, but this is the 5th straight playoff series, first round that Carolina's led 2-0, and we know about the issues on the road, and it's well documented, but in the same spot last year, they went to New York and beat the Islanders. I just think Anderson's too good, and the Devils have too many injuries. It's also, could be an under. The whole series could be an under, too, where it's the number 1 penalty kill against the number 2 penalty kill, and in New Jersey, do you trust them offensively? No. Can they do anything on the power play? No. That I just love how Anderson's playing. I like Markstrom as well. But I've come around. I think $1.70 is too steep. Very popular now. But Carolina to win in regulation and go up 3-0 against New Jersey.
All right. I'll give you some NBA here. From Zach Cohen, vsin.com. Andrew Nebhart over 10.5 points, minus 114. He also bet at 15-plus points, plus 285. He had 17 points each in games 1 and 2. How did the Bucks have a solution for him? And I'll ask the same question here, though. Would the concern be maybe that the Pacers are now going to go back to Milwaukee? Fans are going to be fired up, down 0-2, and you expect an A-plus performance here from the Bucks.
So I know a lot of people are saying it's just a horrible matchup and there's nothing you can do. But I think this is get you where you get the big effort and the role players and everything changes tonight from Milwaukee. And this is I do like Milwaukee to win tonight.
Okay.
But this is where you really are going to fly off your seat here. Freak is averaging 35, 15, and 4 in the series. But when he's on the floor, they've been outscored by 29 points. So they just don't have any answers defensively. And I'm asking Doc Rivers to actually make an adjustment, which I don't know if he can do. And I would not go on Kuzma props because he might limit his minutes. Portis was great in the last game, and so many guys scored. 6 guys were in double figures, including the whole starting 5 for Indiana in the last game. Bad blood, hate each other, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think the Bucks find a way to win.
I like the Nebhart bet.
Like that, yeah.
I just think the Bucks defense is so bad that he's going to be able to get his points.
Sure.
Here's my big one for tomorrow night. It's the Rockets and the Warriors. Again, another series going back now to San Francisco. However, the Butler news obviously banged up in Game 2, did not look good. But you need to attack how these teams have been absolutely destroying the Warriors on the glass. Let me go back the last 5 games in order. The rebounding edge for the Rockets, 47-33. In Game 1, it was 52-36. In the play-in game, it was 50-39 for Memphis. Regular season, the Clippers got him 42-25. Portland out-rebounded Golden State 52-45. These are not even, some of these games aren't even close. The Memphis game with Zach Edey is when he laddered all the way up to 17 points, and we cleaned house with that prop. So it's got to be Steven Adams over 5.5 minus 110. Only 3 in his last game, but 2 games before that. 12 the game before that. And he went over that number 4 straight games to close the year in 9 out of 10. That's a play for me over 5.5. And also Sengun over 10.5 plus 105. 16 last game. It was only 9 the game before that. However, he had 14 when they played Golden State on April 6th, 13 when they played February 13th, and 11 when they played December 11th. I think the Rockets are going to kill them on the glass again tomorrow night, and those 2 guys will be a reason why.
Very good. More props. I will also go to Saturday. First one to start the day. Got to go right back with Hero. Over 2.5 made threes.
Yeah.
He's their guy. He takes so many threes. He's their main focal point of the offense, other than Bam. Again, that's why it's such a bad job to me how Cleveland has played this in the first 2 games defensively, and they will get buried against Boston or lose to Indiana if this continues. Hello, Mobley. Let's go. Come on now. You guys got to do a better job defensively. There's no secret about what they're doing. But Hero over 2.5 made threes, and I also like Davion Mitchell over points for the Miami.
Is he playing well?
He is. He takes a ton of shots, too. He has played well. Notice Rozier hasn't really played at all since that story broke a while back.
I don't know if you can play him.
And a guy benefiting is also, well, Mitchell's been good. So Mitchell over points as well, and I will go right back. And he cashed this. It took a 1-minute span for Harden to go over his made threes last night in the first quarter. Right back on Harden over made threes against the Nugget as well.
Is that 3.5?
It's 2.5.
Oh, it's 2.5.
And he had 3 in a 90-second stretch, something like that last night as well. Best Bets brought to you by G-Bank, official bank of VEASAN, up in the ante with a $750 bonus for new G-Bank Visa Signature Card customers. New customers who spend $1,000 on eligible purchases within 90 days from account opening get a $250 bonus. And if you spend $50,000 on gaming and sports app loads within the 30 days of account opening, you get another $500 bonus, potentially a $750 bonus. Apply now, VEASAN.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. Thank you, G-Bank.
Let me give you some batter versus pitcher matchups that we have tonight. Aaron Judge, career against Jose Barrios, 13 of 34. That's a 382 average, 5 home runs. He's like plus 180 to hit home run. I can't bet that, but he absolutely smokes this guy, as does Trent Grisham. Although it's been a small sample size, he does have 2 home runs against Barrios. I played the Yankees hits as a team over 7.5 tonight because I think they're going to get to this guy. You also have Simeon against Verlander, 14 of 49 in his career, 286 average, 2 home runs, and Andrew Benintendi against Luis Severino, 13 for 35, 2 home runs and 4 doubles. Have you seen this number on the A's tonight? They're like 260.
What? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting carried away here.
So, and I'll give you some other guys in the NBA here as well. They've been red hot or ice cold. Both works here. Peyton Pritchard, 5 straight games over 14.5 points. Kristaps Porzingis, same game, 6-1 under 21.5 points. Is he going to get to 22?
He's going over his rebounds.
And not his points.
I know. That's a tough one. I feel good about the rebounds, though.
Do you want to go to war with Bobby Portis again? 4-1, but it's 13.5 points.
No.
4-1 over that number last 5.
I got to see what Doc does. No. You would think Indiana and Carlisle's a good coach would key in on him and say, hey, come on. The guy killed us in the last game.
Damian Lillard, 6-1 under 23.5 points, and 6-1 under 3.5 made threes.
Thank you. Missed one earlier. I really like Montreal tonight.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Really like Montreal. NHL playoff history, when a team leads a series 2-0, they win that series 86% of the time. All time when the Capitals lead a series 2-0, they have a losing record. They're 4-6 when they lead a series 2-0. Montreal closed 10-0-2 at home. They've been in these games. Thompson saved their bacon in the last one. Montreal wins.
I would be much better off in the last week if I just bet the NHL and no NBA. What do you think about that?
I think
Pick a lane?
Yeah, well, no, but I think you can't handicap the officiating.
Yeah. Up next,
they've been swallowing the whistle.
Pauly, I have a preposterous travel angle tonight for a road team in Major League Baseball. The team has been unhappy about it for 2 days, and a team that is 15-2-5 in the first 5.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, You know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
There's one-day game today, Major League Baseball. There was a pretty lengthy delay to it. Some dicey weather in and around Wrigley today. Cubs, though, they lead Philadelphia 2-0. That game's now in the fourth. Ray is dealing. Cubs have 6 hits off Walker. By the way, this game, keep this in mind because this game's already started, obviously. The Cubs entering today were 17-6-3 in the first 5. Take away the 2 games in Tokyo against the Dodgers to begin the season, 17-4-3. If they hang on to lead this after 5, that's going to be 18-4-3, the run for the Chicago Cubs. The Milwaukee Brewers
Very good.
are 15-6-5 on the year. They lost their first 4. They're on a 15-2-5 run in the first 5. They led the last two, like yesterday against the Giants, had the lead, lost. They've lost 7 of those games in which they led or tied. So you want a piece of the Brewers' first 5. After that, it's up for grabs. All bets are off. The Yankees do play tonight against the Blue Jays, laying a number here.
Should be an over, right?
I think so, yeah.
Carrasco and Barrios, and it's 9?
It
in
reeks
Yankee
of,
Stadium?
yes. And the Yankees are 15-7-3 in the first 5.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would agree with the over there.
Okay. Tough one yesterday with the Orioles. How about that?
Yeah,
the Nationals scored 1 run.
Off Povich.
Got beat 2-1. I know. And if this is the matchup Saturday, you got to go to war with the Tigers. It's scheduled to be Morton against Job. So Detroit has won every start that when Jackson's been on the mound, and the Orioles are 0-5 when Morton's out there. Not to mention Morton's numbers are just hideous.
Yeah. So
I'm looking for a number on that, but that's supposed to be the matchup Saturday.
All right. Now, are you sitting down for this? This travel spot that we have tonight in Major League Baseball. I noticed this yesterday because players were already chirping. This goes back to like Wednesday night / Thursday morning.
Complaining about it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They knew what was they were up against. Last night, the Angels played a late game at home. So what did they do? They played the Pirates. They won the game, but then they had to fly out to play a game today, 3 hours away in Minnesota. Keep this in mind, the Twins, because the Wolves are playing the Lakers, had to bump up the time to alleviate traffic problems.
Oh!
How do you like that one? So it was a 3-hour and 20-minute flight, approximately. They left California at 11:17 p.m. They arrived in Minneapolis today at 4:37 a.m. I don't think it should be allowed, is what some of the players were talking about. Multiple players were on record complaining about this before last night's game. After the game last night, skipper here for the Angels, Ron Washington, was asked, does winning make the flight a little more comfortable? He said, quote, no. But it's nice to have a win. That flight's not going to be comfortable, but I'm going to do the best I can to give me some sleep, getting in at about 6 o'clock this morning. It's a doozy of a travel spot by Major League Baseball to put that game at night last night, and they wouldn't flex out of it. Put it during the day. So
there's a lot of situations like this could pop up, though, where you have the team playing at home, and then the NBA teams, down
No
the
doubt.
street or next door.
Yes.
So that's something to keep an eye on too.
So
Yes.
I had this one circled early yesterday morning. Adam Burke has a terrific write-up on this game with more details. You can go to vsin.com and read it there. But I had the same exact thought that Burke did. He played Twins run line, although they're the home team. I don't like playing home teams because they're only going to get, in theory, 8 at-bats under that scenario. But I played him run line plus 110. But Trout's in a huge funk, and it's going to be Lopez against Hendricks. Lopez is off the IL here, so you expect him to probably go about 5 innings if he's sharp. But Hendricks is, I don't have a fear here. I think the Twins can get some runs off him. So that's a play there for me tonight for sure.
Yes.
I'll give you some bad first 5 teams. Rockies are 5-15-4. Marlins 7-15-2. White Sox 7-13-5. Now, I think that when these road teams, and we don't have as many going today, but you have just a plethora of teams that are awful on the road, and they're bad anyway.
Rockies are at home, and you have the White Sox on the road. Atlanta's 2-11 on the road. And they're favored. How is Sale favored?
Well, Gallons,
his numbers are terrible.
But Gallons has not been great.
Yeah, but he's got an ERA of 6, and they're 2-11 on the road.
Yeah, I think his peripherals are better than that, though. But I understand your point. But also, like the parlays and the round robins, maybe on a daily basis in Major League Baseball, maybe a consideration.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you're going to have 3 or 4 teams that are just going to be awful all year long. Now, can I interest you tonight at all? Because we have an unbelievable pitching matchup on the West Coast.
No.
You don't want him?
I don't want Skeetons. I don't. Yamamoto's got 18 2/3 consecutive scoreless. Ohtani took him deep last year. They roughed him up in 2 starts. I can't get there. I don't want the plus 180 with the Pirates.
Would you do first 5? No?
I don't want that either.
Can I give you my biggest regret?
And I don't want under 7 either.
Okay. I don't have many awards bets at this point. Hardly any at all. My one regret would be because I bet Yamamoto various ways last year. I didn't do it this year. Yamamoto, to have a Cy Young ticket on him in pocket right now would feel pretty good. The guy is stellar.
How about Hunter Brown?
I'd love to I don't have that either. I stared right at 20 to 1-1, and I'm like, nah, it's too low. Okay, right.
Yeah.
2 awesome starts since then.
Yeah.
And by the way, that goes back to half of last year. Hunter Brown has been awesome. But Yamamoto, again, 0.93 ERA. The FIP is 2.02 and almost 12 Ks per 9. You're not going to get this very often where the pitcher, like in a K matchup, the pitcher facing Skeens is favored to have more Ks. That's the case tonight with Yamamoto.
Excellent. I like the late game, too. Verlander at home against Eovaldi and the Rangers. I think the wrong team's favored. And I wouldn't be surprised if Texas takes them out. And Padres back at home. That's the one angle you have.
There you go.
Right? They've only lost 1 game at home. They have a 1.30 ERA in home games. And it's King. Why is King only $1.40 against the Rays, who finally won a road game?
I would say
that seems that's bizarre. That's cheap.
The only comeback I would have is that Shane Baz has been awesome so far this year. It's the only comeback I have. But it's not like King is chopped liver.
All right.
Okay, let me give you this too. Do you want to hold your nose for a Rockies game at home?
They've lost every Freeland start.
Well,
and they've scored only 6 runs in his starts.
So it hasn't been his problem, though. That's the offense, right? Like you said.
Right.
His ERA doesn't look great. It's 4.85, but dig a little deeper. The FIP is 2.52. So you're talking about basically 2+ runs better on the real number here. Also, he's not allowing many home runs, 0.35 per 9. And the BABIP he's unlucky at 337. So it's also Coors, though, but you would expect him with those numbers to maybe put together something that looks pretty solid. However, Abbott's also been very good. 13 Ks per 9 going tonight for the Reds. Yeah. And the other one to maybe look at would be the Cardinals are, again, one of those teams that are really, really bad at home. Or I'm sorry, on the road. They're at home tonight against the Brewers. It's Chad Patrick against Matthew Liberatore. Patrick has a 2.11 ERA, which looks great. The FIP is 4.24, so 2 runs higher. He's walking almost 4 batters per 9, and his left-on base rate is 97%, which is completely unsustainable. Liberatore has a 3.60 ERA. However, the FIP is 2 runs short of that, 1.8. He barely walks anybody, and he's been unlucky with the BABIP. I think the Cardinals might be worth a play tonight in this game. However, that ties into what we just talked about. The Brewers are so good in the first 5, and I would not consider that angle with the Cardinals. I'd want them for the full game. But you have some really good pitching matchups tonight, too, like you talked about.
Yes.
And Senga goes for the Mets.
That's right.
They are down. I think
His
I saw.
K-prop's 4.5. Heavily juiced to the over, but this pitching's real, what they're doing. And I know the great home record as well. But he's a big favorite on the road tonight, too.
I saw them shy of 10-1 to win the World Series now. I went to go see if I could find, because they were plus 1250 the other day. I'm like, I'll take a little plus 1250. Gone, banished. No longer available. But stiff competition in the NL, their own division, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers, Padres, the entire West. And this Cubs team winning again today. Are you buying this team month into the season?
Absolutely. What's our guy doing, Mr. MVP? Check out the box score. Did he do anything today?
I haven't looked yet, actually.
Yeah. The other thing, too, is how about this season for Devers? So remember he started 0 for 22, whatever it was? Then he hit 430 for a 9-game stretch. Now he's in a 4 for 44 slump. I mean, what is going on with this guy?
Wow.
What all-time season so far? What's happened? Want to know where the money's really going? Unlike other sources, our betting splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight into where the sharp action's landing. Circa takes huge bets from pro bettors, and it means you're getting the real action, not just the public money, but the kind of wagers that moves lines. See the percentage of bets versus percentage of handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. People love it. The betting splits, and it's part of the VSiN Summer Special right now. $59 through August 1st. VSiN.com/subscribe.
All right, more NFL draft coming up next. Adam Hill does a great job covering the Raiders out here locally for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Was the pick Genty all along? Did they pivot once the Browns dropped to number 5? And are they taking Shedeur Sanders tonight in the second round? We'll ask him next here and Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.